Oh, glory to Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril and Methodius Orthodox Church in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. It's good to have you with us here on the 28th of April, Holy Wednesday in the Orthodox Church. In about an hour and a half, we're going to have, actually an hour, I'm sorry. In about an hour, we're going to have Holy Unction, which is something that we've done on Holy Wednesday for about the last 100, 150 years. It's a custom that developed in the 19th century. Because in unction there's a forgiveness of sins, it effectively functioned as a substitute for confession in the time when there were not a lot of priests who had the blessing to receive confessions. But I didn't want to talk to you about unction tonight. Actually, what I wanted to talk to you is about grace and the provocation of grace. You know, the fact of the matter is that all of us have some aspect of our personality or character that is controlling. I just want to be in charge. Maybe I want to be in charge of my life. Maybe I want to be in charge of your life. Maybe I want to run the world. There's a group of retired police officers, law enforcement officials that will sometimes have coffee where I go to write some mornings, and I like to eavesdrop on them because they have all the world's problems solved by their second cup. It's amazing. It's just great. Well, that's kind of humorous, but there is this part of us that wants to be controlling, and grace is a reminder that in fact I am not in control. To be sure, I have a role to play in my own life, but I am not in control, at least in an ultimate sense. Grace is a reminder that everything that I do in my life, including my freedom, comes to me from outside as a gift. And that's a provocation to my freedom, not just an invitation. It's a reminder that, in fact, my freedom is dependent upon God and not on my own efforts, though my own efforts have a role to play. Sometimes, especially among some conservative Christians, there's a growing concern that the American experiment and American liberalism, political liberalism, which is founded on the principles of individualism, the free market, representative democracy, rule of law, those kinds of things are antithetical or undermine the life of Christian virtue. Now, I would be the first to tell you that certainly there are some challenges that we face as Orthodox Christians in America, but I think to blame the misuse of freedom on the American experiment is really just simply bad theology. Fact of the matter is that because I'm a sinner, I am going to use anything I can as a way of asserting myself or trying to impose myself upon the world. If I'm an American, I'm going to appeal to American political philosophy. But if I am in another culture, another tradition, I'm going to look around and see what it is there that I can use to shore up my own fantasy of being in charge of reality. In other words, American individualism, free market economics, representative democracy, rule of law, these are not the problems. These are the tools that sin reaches for in order to bind me further, hold me further, more tightly in its grip. And if it wasn't this, it would be monarchy or the primacy of the community rather than the individual. Political philosophy, economic models, they have benefits and deficits, but as far as being able to say that a particular approach to politics or a particular economic model is inherently the cause of human sinfulness is bad theology, and frankly it's just kind of a reductionism and a materialism. Nope. The problem is that I'm a sinner and I want to run my life according to my transitory estimation and desires. That's the problem. The fact that I'm an American is how I justify my sin to myself. But being an American is not the cause of that any more than, being Greek or Arab or Russian or Ukrainian or anything, is the cause of sin. These things sin uses. So what does this mean for us as Orthodox Christians? Well, at least in an American context, it means looking at the resources that we've been given, the cultural resources that we've been given, individualism, free market economics, rule of law, representative democracy, and asking ourselves, how can we use these, put these at the service of the gospel? How can we use these to bring more people come to know Christ and to be members of his body, the church? Again, American individualism is not the problem. I am. And how I misuse my own freedom. Well, it's just coming up on 5 o'clock, and I have a few more things to do before the unction service. So hopefully you'll be able to join us here at St. Cyril Methodius. If you can't be with us at St. Cyril Methodius this evening, maybe watch online. And if you're in the Madison area and you're an Orthodox Christian, maybe drop me a note or leave me a comment. And maybe we can arrange a time when you can come and be anointed. Until then, God bless everyone, and I'll see you in about an hour. All right. Bye-bye.